If you're a woman between 40 and 60 and your smartwatch tells you your HRV is low, it doesn't mean you're doing everything wrong. It means your body is speaking. And today I'll explain what it's really telling you. Because HRV in women is not the same as in men, and it's not the same at 30 as it is at 55. Hi, I'm Dr. Talia Rossi, an aesthetic medicine physician and a longevity doctor. I work in aesthetic medicine and longevity medicine, two disciplines with a single goal, guiding each woman toward their highest level of well-being inside and out. Because true beauty doesn't come only from a treatment or an aesthetic result, but from the reflection of a balanced body, a biology that works, and a mind that regains its vital energy. So what HRV really is? HRV stands for heart rate variability. It's the variability in time between one heartbeat and the next one. The heart doesn't beat like a metronome. In fact, a healthy heart shouldn't. Key cardiology point: the more the heart is able to vary, the more flexible the nervous system controlling it is. HRV is therefore an indicator of the autonomic nervous system, the balance between sympathetic activation and stress versus parasympathetic recovery and rest. It doesn't measure the heart itself, it measures how the brain and the body regulate it. How it's calculated. The devices you use at home don't measure HRV the same way hospitals do, but they use validated methods. Main methods: RMSSD, the most commonly used wearable devices, reflects parasympathetic activity, and this stands for root mean square of successive differences. Translated without having a headache, it's an HRV measure that indicates how much your parasympathetic nervous system, the recovery all is well system, is working. In practice, what does it measure? Well, RMSSD looks at the difference in time between one heartbeat and the next one, and how quickly those differences change. So more variation equals to flexible nervous system, good recovery capacity, better stress management. And less variation equals to system under load, poor recovery, stress, poor sleep, pain, overtraining, and hormonal imbalances. Why do smartwatches use it? Because it's sensitive to the parasympathetic system. It responds quickly to stress, sleep, and training. It works well with nighttime measurements. So that's why RMSSD is great for monitoring trends, not for making diagnoses. RMSSD answers one question only: how well are you recovering? It doesn't say whether you're sick. It doesn't judge your discipline. It tells you whether your system has room or is running on reserve. And then we have SDNN, used more in clinical settings. SDNN stands for Standard Deviation of Normal to Normal Intervals. Breathe. It's simpler than it sounds. In simple terms, SDNN measures how much the time between heartbeats varies over the long term. It's a global measure of HRV. If RMSSD asks, how are you recovering right now? SDNN asks, what's the overall balance of your nervous system? So the SDNN represents the interaction between sympathetic and parasympathetic systems, the overall adaptive capacity of the cardiovascular system, your body's room to maneuver over time. That's why it's widely used in clinical and cardiology settings. It's classic in 24-hour Holter recordings. So high SDNN means adaptable nervous system, good physiological resilience, better prognosis in clinical context. Low SDNN means chronic load, reduced flexibility, and in medicine, if very low and persistent, it can signal increased risk in the right context. But be careful, a low SDNN in daily life is not a diagnosis. It must always be interpreted together with symptoms, context, and trends. So HRV is not an absolute value, it's personal and dynamic. What HRV tells us from a cardiology perspective? Here we raise the level, but stay clear. In cardiology, we know that very low HRV is associated with a higher cardiovascular risk, higher mortality in diseased populations, but this does not mean that low everyday HRV equals heart disease. In a healthy woman, HRV is more a marker of physiological load, not a diagnostic test. So it means that a low HRV doesn't say your heart is unhealthy, it says your system is under load. And what's the connection between HRV, hormones, and women between 40 and 60 years old? This is the part that's almost never explained enough. In women, estrogens influence the autonomic nervous system. The perimenopause leads to increased sympathetic activation and reduced parasympathetic recovery. The result is a more variable HRV, often lower HRV, even when you're doing everything right. Other common factors are fragmented sleep, chronic mental stress, pain in the neck, in the lower back, in the joints, and family and emotional load that I see very often in my patients. So the key point is, your HRV is not a grade for discipline, it's a snapshot of the biological phase you're going through. What are the most common mistakes women make? Mistake number 1, blaming yourself. Low HRV doesn't mean that you're doing everything wrong. You're just living a biological transition. Mistake number 2, training more to raise it. Often what's needed is less intensity, more recovery, and more strength training, less extreme cardio. Mistake number 3, ignoring clinical signals. Chronically low HRV plus fatigue plus very poor sleep plus pain and plus low mood. That's not mindset, it's medicine. So maybe you need to go deeper. So investigate and work on your health status. HRV doesn't predict how many years you'll live, but it tells you how you're spending them. Chronically low HRV is often associated with inflammation, so also inflammaging, reduced stress resilience, slow recovery, that's why after the flu you don't get well soon, high risk of functional decline, and the goal isn't to raise the number, but it's to reduce the load that's lowering it. HRV is a conversation between your heart, your nervous system, and your hormones. On my channel, I talk about longevity, aesthetic medicine, and conscious biohacking to help you understand how every daily choice, from sleep to movement, shapes your biological future. So subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to discover how to live better, longer, and in balance with your biology. And on my website that you see in the description, you'll find articles and in-depth content on training, hormones, and cellular longevity. If you want to learn how to read these signals and use them to build a longevity path tailored to you, we can do it together. Not to control the body, but to listen to it better for your longevity. See you in the next video.